Hi everyone, I'm out on my lanai. I am baking Danny and I just wanted to give you some tips. It's beautiful out here. It's about 10 minutes to 5. George is out here with me. Say hi, George. You want to say hi? I just bought that parrot there for the wall. I'm a parrot fan, what can I say? But I just finished baking his limbs. His head would not fit in there. What you want to make sure is that none of the parts touch one another. And I started out fine, and the New Wave oven kind of vibrates a little bit. And you have to keep checking to make sure that your parts don't touch. And that little pointer finger right there, was touching the rim of that leg, so I had to shut my oven on. I put it on pause. It's dark out here right now, sorry. And then I repositioned the limbs, and I got an airplane going overhead right now. How wonderful. But none of your parts should touch. So that's why probably the next baking I'm going to put one less limb in there so I have more room so I don't have to worry about watching it. So I'm going to take these out. I have a pair of gloves because these are just garden gloves and they have grippers. This thing gets extremely hot, and when you take that lid off, that's this part is also extremely hot. So you're going to want to use your gloves to take that off. And then this part right here is the extender ring, which you need for baking Reborns in this kind of oven. This is the heating element, and you can see you want to keep that heating element as far away from the vinyl as possible, because without that extender ring, your parts have a greater tendency of melting. Yeah. So I'm going to take his limbs out and take a look at them, so I'll be back in a sec. Okay, I am so pleased with how these limbs came out of the oven. They are just as matte as they were when I put them in. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So another thing I wanted to bring to your attention was I have his head in there, which is very upright. Sometimes the heads are back heavy and sometimes front heavy, and you have to kind of fill them with polyfill in order to get them to stand up by themselves. But this head is doing fine right now, but you want to keep an eye on it and make sure. Each kit is different and they react differently when they're in the oven. So I'm going to keep my eye on him to make sure that he stays upright, because if he falls over, his head will get dented on the side that gets that lays down flat onto the surface. It'll get dented. It'll cave in, and you don't want that. So yeah. So I did, once again, power level 6, cook time 9, and then start. I know it's dark, but that's how I do it. Power level 6 is, I believe, 350 degrees, but don't quote me on that, I'm not sure. I've just always done it that way. Power level 6, cook time 9 minutes. When I do the matte varnish, I do 10 minutes, and then I take it out and let it cool, and then bake it again for 10 minutes. But that's just the matte coat that you do that for. So he will be ready in 7 minutes. And the oven will shut off in 7 minutes, but it's still hot in there. And it's okay to leave them in there for a while. It won't ruin it. But I'm very pleased with this vinyl so far. It's completely even, it's completely matte. There are no blotches and no spots. It's a wonderful thing. They should all go this smoothly. So thanks for watching. I will see you at another time. Guys, you're not going to believe this, but I came in to upload my videos and went outside and Danny's head was laying on this side. But I caught him in time. It did no damage. So I went ahead and I stuffed him with polyfill, with this polyfill, so that I have less of a chance of that happening again. And what I'm going to do next time is probably put 2 of his arms on the sides of his neck, this part of the neck, so that it props him up. But we'll see how that goes. I also wanted to point out something I forgot when I was out there. When you put your parts from the oven back on your drying rack, you want to make sure that since there's a stick there, it will leave an impression. You want to make sure that it's resting right where the elbow is, so that it doesn't make an additional elbow on your limb. And the same with the knees. You want to make sure that the post lines up with the knee so that you don't get an extra knee. Because it will conform since it's hot when you put it back on there. So that's the final tip that I wanted to tell you guys. But oh, I'm so happy that I caught this guy in time. No damage, no harm, no damage, thank goodness. So that's his head, nice and matte, nice and the paint is nice and even. George is not happy right now. George! What's happening, George? Anyhow, that was, I'm going to go because I don't want you to listen to that. That's what happened. You got to be really watchful. Things happen all the time when you're reborning a kit. So I'm here to fill you guys in on anything and everything that can happen. So, okay, part 3. This is part 3, and this will be it.